Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to RWBY Volume 8, Episode 7, the mid-season finale for Volume 8. Now, sadly, after this episode, we will be on hiatus until February, so that's unfortunate. But hopefully this episode will end in a massive cliffhanger. Like a satisfying cliffhanger. Like how it would have been had they stopped after the last episode. But as always, I have a few points I like to talk about before I start the reaction. And this one actually has three different parts. The first and main part is predictions for this episode. I reckon that the siege on Schnee Manor may start this episode, and because of this, Whitley will offer to stay behind and look after Nora, while Amity team, so Weiss, Ruby, Blake, and May, go off to defend the house, and maybe Weiss will pull a Volume 1 Pyrrha and use her aura to awaken Whitley's just to give him that extra line of protection. Because we know that he hasn't had his aura unlocked or that because he finds it barbaric, though when push comes to shove, he'd take the protection. I'm also expecting more Hazel and Oscar interactions. I'm not sure how we'll get time for that in this episode, as it's 19 minutes, taking out a minute 40 for the opening and let's just say a minute and a half for the closing. That's a little over 15 minutes. So, yeah, I'm not really sure they'd have time for that. And based on how last episode ended, and the thumbnail for this episode, I'm expecting us to explore some Aesop's Mantle Team tension. Because, well, the thumbnail for this episode is Jean with his arms behind his back, likely in handcuffs, and Vine and Elm holding Yang, who also appears to be in handcuffs. Excuse me. Now, the second part of this is Chapter 5 mention, because I realized yesterday that Ironwood's death flags are basically 100% now because of what Ruby said in her message, how he can't be trusted, because unless they send out another message saying, okay, we take that back, Ironwood's on our side, it's very unlikely that he'll be welcome in any other kingdom, or with his actions in this volume and the last, I doubt he'll be welcome in Atlas by a lot of people. And finally, my 2 points for the last episode are, I just want to point out the fact that people are shitting on Rhodes because he gave Cinder a sword and was surprised that she killed her abusive stepmother and stepsisters. But I want to point out the fact that months had passed between when she was given the sword and when Rhodes returned, because in that time Rhodes looks a little older, plus he has a scar on his face. Now, a scar that size, we don't know how quickly aura helps set scars, but given the fact that he went away on a mission and returned with a scar, it would likely be a month at least. Possibly 2, very likely 3. So she waited that long And the only reason she attacked the three is because they tried to take the sword away from her, and the sword was the only thing she'd been given out of good intentions. So of course she'd be very protective of it. I also think that Rhodes, when he confronted Cinder, wasn't trying to kill or arrest her, because I reckon he was testing her to see if she was ready to accompany him. Like maybe he was going to take her to a different kingdom, because he did say that she'd be running, but he never said that he'd stop her. Like, never once, even when he said, I know what you're thinking about hurting them, and if you start running, you'll never be able to stop. He never actually said, don't hurt them. Though the main reason I think it is because, well, he was holding back a lot at the start of the fight. He was, like, sure he was attacking her, testing her, but once she got the second sword, she overpowered him quickly, and then once his aura was broken, he suddenly kicked it up a notch and sent her flying across the room very quickly. Though this could just be me trying to project onto him with what I would have done had I come across that scenario. In a fantasy world, I must put that out there, because if I saw a kid had killed their abusive parent in real life, I would still have to call the police. Yet if it's in a fantasy world like this, I'd be like, you know what? Come with me. We'll travel the world using that skills that I've taught you to do good. Anyway, listen back to the actual episode. The synopsis for this is, it's all-out war in Atlas. Our heroes face an impossible problem. Where will they go from here? Now, I'm not really sure what that could be alluding to, but I guess we'll see when the episode starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
How's it look back there?
Pretty good.
Okay, that wasn't the audio for the actual thing. That was audio I had saved in the background. So we're going to start the actual audio in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that time it worked. I'm going to leave that in because, well, my mistakes deserve to be known. We said goodbye to all the things we loved. Gave up our lives just to find that it was not enough. We left in faith, left our solitude, our carefree and free. Won't be sorry to change the world with just a childish dream. We fell to stop alone the night because we came before our hope has no place here. Maybe the path that leads our way home will finally clear. Maybe the end we try to avoid is already here. Some roses will never bloom. Some dreams will ride on the vine. Some life will end much too soon. Some people will never ever die. Some might fail like a key. Some heroes choose their own side. Sometimes it's worth it all risk to fall and fight for every life. The first time I managed to get through that by saying faith instead of trying to say vain, and you can see me celebrating in my head because I then stuff up the next two lines. Yeah. Really, mate? You guys really think you're going to be able to? Oh. Mark III paladins, I guess. I really hope the apathy don't play a big part in this. Oh, just as I say that. Yeah. All of you are going to die.
Yes, sir.
I am evacuating all citizens to the subway. Prepare Manta Squad Omega and dispatch to every part of Atlas.
There's a
But, sir,
subway?
Now!
Citizens of Atlas, please proceed to the nearest underground subway stations for shelter.
You could have said calmly.
Dad? Look!
Yeah. Wait, were those lances?
We need to go!
Yeah, you need.
Back up, sir! The generators took too much damage! Then don't waste resources on them.
Yeah, they are arrested.
The creature.
We tried bombs, missiles, but we can't make a dent, sir.
Sir, Shni here. Penny is still MIA, but we've apprehended Ark, Xiaolong, and Ren.
Stand by for further orders, and don't let those fugitives out of your sight.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Still just following orders.
You sure you don't want us to fight?
That's where the Grim took Oscar. It's even bigger than I thought.
That's
Grim
how
don't
distance
take
works.
prisoners.
This one did. If you would just let us go.
Cease fire. Manta squads, concentrate on secondary hostiles. Command is working on a solution for the creature.
What do you have in mind, sir?
We aren't making any progress attacking the thing from the outside. But from the inside, it could be vulnerable.
You gonna pull a Jonah?
Science team is putting together a bomb. When it's ready, we'll drop it off as close to the target as possible. Then your team will deliver it on foot. Sending you rendezvous coordinates now.
Of course, sir.
I didn't know
We'll hold
Winter
the
had
point and we will get it
heterochromia.
done.
But Oscar's in there.
You can't do this!
She doesn't want to do it. This is disturbing and I love it. Yes, break free. Do it. Is Neo there? Nope, it's a seer. Your ability works on Grim?
That stunt you pulled, she'd have killed you if you didn't just pop up somewhere else. Still, you can make things easier on yourself if you start telling the truth.
You've never wondered why she recruited you. You, specifically, to help her find the relics.
We share a vision. She's gonna create a new world order. No kingdoms. And no Huntsman Academies.
That's because there'll be no world.
New world order. No. When Salem gets all 4 relics, there will be no worlds left at all. Don't you get it? She's been alive longer than you can comprehend. All she craves now is release. Death.
Stop lying! Salem can't be killed! When she came for me, I killed her over and over again. The longest she was gone was only a few hours. Before she put herself back together.
Interesting.
When I couldn't lift my arms anymore, she showed me that through her, I could have the vengeance I needed.
Oh, Hazel. Don't you see that is why she came for you? Because she could make you believe that this is what you needed?
This is what you deserve!
Yes! But Oscar, the people of Atlas, Remnant, you haven't done what you've done for justice. You've done it for yourself. Because she pushed you to think it would help you.
This is exactly what I was wanting.
Has it?
That was exactly what I wanted.
Now what? Am I
You're
good
awake.
for?
You're good for a lot of things, Nora.
How is she?
I've done what I can, but she needs a doctor.
Hopefully May's able to reach the others. I really hope they're okay. Salem's monster is making Grimm faster than the Atlas military can kill them. The city won't stand a chance unless we stop it.
It's massive. Way bigger than a Leviathan. What can we even do?
Penny launched Amity, and our message went out. Do we just wait for someone to come?
Oh, you've got no time for that.
How did it all get like this?
Fiona said your friends haven't been heard from in a while. Unfortunately, the last thing they're worried about is a couple of kids. Come on, I've got the ship ready to head back in.
What? We can't leave.
It's chaos at the crater. Atlas has its army, but Mantle only has us. People are dying.
People are dying here too. Don't you have family in Atlas?
No. Mantle needed me. And to the Marigolds, that meant I wasn't their son anymore.
There it is.
And I made sure that everyone knew that I wasn't their daughter.
Okay, there we
So
go.
forget them. They've got Henry, yours have Whitley. You get what I'm saying.
I don't know about...
Which side are you on, anyway?
We've heard that before.
That's understandable.
There are no sides. We want to help everyone. We're all facing Salem together.
I had a feeling that's what
Together is
drove
the
May out
only
of
way
Atlas.
We're going to get out of it.
So how exactly do we get out of it?
I really had a feeling that's
So
why
long as
May
this
left.
world turns, you shall walk its face. That was the curse cast upon her. But if Salem can divide humanity beyond repair and bring all 4 relics back together, she believes that maybe their curse will be broken. The gods will rule against us and destroy Remnant once and for all.
Nice story. But if Gretchen's death taught me one thing, it was never to trust you.
Please, let me.
But Oscar...
You want him to trust us, and trust me. Her name is Jin.
Huh?
You want her to come out of the lamp? Just say her name. She can still answer one more question.
After all that, you're just going to give Salem the password?
No, I'm giving you the password.
I'm giving you the password.
That's exactly what I
And
said.
hoping you'll find the truth for yourself.
You were telling the truth.
He's a prisoner, Am. He'll say what he thinks will get him out.
So you're still going to Vacuo? After what I just told you?
Those are Salem's new orders. And I know better than to disobey Salem.
But...
Look, even if what he said was true, we can't stop Salem. You told me yourself. Hazel tried. He failed, and he got in line. Big guy's not gonna pick fights he can't win. Neither should we. And all of this is pointless anyway. Salem's not ending the world.
Of course she is. You're surprised? Salem is destruction incarnate. Our mistress wishes to see the end of it all. There is no ideal more beautiful. If you couldn't see that from the start, you must be out of your mind. Now, come along, Mr. Black. You and I have a date with the deserts.
Of course. Why are the Berengul's bats? Of course they're sending the Scorpion to the desert. And I just need to go back and that nod. He's telling Emerald to leave. So we've got Hazel, who's basically been won over by Oscar Osbit. We've got Emerald and Mercury, who basically aren't with Salem anymore. Because Emerald was already going to leave just then. And Mercury, he's just like, shit, he was telling the truth. The world's gonna end? Fuck, I gotta get out of here. You leave now, I'll ditch this lunatic in the desert. And I am really happy. Of course, it's going to end poorly for them, but I'm happy. Not that it's gonna end poorly.
You can't blow it up with Oscar still in there.
Here's the
That
thumbnail.
creature causes more
I
damage
didn't see
every
Renan.
minute. We cannot wait.
Please, Winter, give us a chance to try to rescue him first. We could be your test run. You don't know what'll be waiting for you inside, right? So we can go ahead to check it out.
They all have heterochromium.
For Oscar while we're inside.
I'm a moron.
You want to go inside that thing alone?
Wouldn't you do it for Elm? Harriet? Vine?
No.
We don't let feelings get in the way of making the right call. Trading 3 lives for 1 is stupid.
No, it's not. He's our friend.
Thank you.
We will do whatever it takes to find him. Because we care about him.
I really had you pegged as the most level-headed of the bunch, but I guess you're just as naive. Feelings don't matter. The job matters. When you lose someone on your team, you move on. Replace them. Like Marrow replaced Tortuga, and Winter replaced...
No! No one is replaceable. You don't really believe that. You are furious about losing Clover. And you miss him.
You don't know anything about me!
Ren's semblance has evolved.
That's why you lost against Team RWBY. You try to fight how you feel about each other, so you'll never truly work as a team.
Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about!
I can see your emotions.
Calm down.
That is...
Fine. We will drop you as close as we can to the monster.
You can't be serious. They're fugitives and traitors!
I outrank you.
Suck it, bitch.
If you aren't out in time, we drop the payload. No matter what.
We understand.
You don't like this either. In fact, you don't want to be a part of it at all anymore.
We know. We
I
all
have
know.
a job to do, and I'm going to do it.
I know you don't either.
Why did she have all of their colors surrounded
Wait! What about Crow and Robin? Well, maybe if we get them out of wherever they're being held, they could...
No, see, you just don't get it. This is not a situation where everyone wins. Now you all can come with me to help in Mantle, or I can drop you off near the front lines if you still want to help Atlas. Your uncle and Robin can't save us. We have to choose. So choose.
Well, I just have a feeling Whitley's gonna come up behind and clonk. Klein?
Klein!
Yeah!
Miss Schnee, I heard there was a patient here who needed my help.
I am so sorry, Klein. It's my fault that Father...
Please don't worry, my snowflake. It had nothing to do with you. And everything to do with Jacques.
Well, that's sweet of you. But wait, how did you know...
Ah, young Whitley, I'm so glad that you rang. May I please see the patient? I understand it's urgent.
Yes, she's in Weiss's room. Just go up the...
I haven't been gone that long, Master Whitley. I believe I can find it.
You called Klein.
That girl needs a doctor. I didn't do it for you.
I know. That's why it means so much to me. Did you call anyone else?
Was that their airship? Penny.
I'm sorry.
Okay. There's a lot to break down. This was a wonderful episode. This is everything I wanted from this episode. The cliffhanger could have been a little stronger, but that's just a minor nitpick. This was an excellent episode. We got pretty much everything I wanted from it. And what I didn't know I wanted from it. We got the siege on Atlas beginning, of course. I hope the apathy aren't involved too much, because we saw one in the last episode, and as I said, just a wave of apathy spawned. Do not like that. We've got Ironwood. That was a very anxiety stance. He was very arms closed, not crossed. He was holding himself, and he was also looking furious. We got a look at what the people of Atlas do throughout their day. Because even though they knew that a grim invasion was imminent, they're still out having fucking picnics and that. And that really does look like a swarm of lancers. We find out they're going to pull a bloody World Security Council from the MCU on the whale, where they're just going to try and nuke it rather than let people actually try and take out it. We got Salem being a maestro with the waves of Grim that she's releasing. That was interesting and terrifying, just how serene the music is, how her movements are so soft, like she's conducting an orchestra or that. And just as she's doing so, waves of liquid grim just flow out the mouth. We basically have it 100% confirmed that Emerald and Hazel will be leaving Salem's grasp. One way or another, they will be leaving it. I like Oscar's show of faith here. Look, you don't trust Ozpin. You have no reason to trust me. Here, I'll give you a reason to trust me. Ask her her final question for the century, and you'll see that we're telling you the truth. Also, Emerald's semblance can be used on Grimm, which is surprising. I also 100% knew that Tyrion was aware of Salem's desire to destroy the planet. That was very obvious. But the fact that Mercury looks like he's going to leave as well. Oh boy. As I said, I knew full well that it was the bigotry in Atlas as to why May left. Because the Marigolds probably wouldn't, well, they didn't accept her as she is. So she left. I'm trying to find the actual dialogue. Hang on. Where is it? It's so hard finding an exact line of dialogue. So she said, Mantle needed me, and to the Marigolds that meant I wasn't their son anymore, and I will prove to everyone I am not their daughter. Which, yeah, that is a very strong line. And, well, it doesn't actually say whether the Marigolds would support May as she really is. It's the fact that she left with Robin to join the Happy Huntresses and protect Mantle as to why they were disowned. Or at least that's why they said they were disowning her. And I like the little call-in that's saying, May, you're speaking a lot like Ironwood right now, with the you must pick a side. Skipping over the Mercury stuff because I already talked about that. Oh yeah, we find out that in the midst of this war, they're already starting their attack on the next destination as well, which props for efficiency, I guess. But also, you've sent your most dangerous fighters away. Because we know Mercury can hold his own against a lot of people. We know Tyrion can hold his own against a lot of people. Though with the fact that there are now 3 people actively trying to kill Tyrion in Atlas, it does make sense as to why they would send him away. Because he can't handle 3-on-1. I like how Jean, always the strategist, he's the one to come up with the idea to send them in. And we get to see a semblance evolve. Because way back, Volume 5, they said that semblances can evolve as you progress in your level. And this may very well have been the cause of what Ren's been going through. Because, well, we know that he could sense we know that he could mask emotions. There was no way he could tell emotions. Me and several other people in the fandom have thought maybe he's picking up on the latent emotions of the area he's in, And that's all compiling in him and then exploding. And that's why he's been so the way he is. And we see this episode that now he can actually see and read people's emotions. Also, the fact that we knew Mara was new to the Aesops, we didn't know that they've suffered 2 deaths in a year. Mara replaced Tortuga, which just makes me think of the island from Pirates of the Caribbean. And Winter is replacing Clover. And I love that Ren is the one to point out that no one is replaceable. Because it's true. No one is replaceable. And it's having that final outburst that unlocks his ability to see that they don't mean what they're saying. I also like how each emotion seems to have a different petal color, because I mean, this isn't really a flattering screen grab of Harriet, but she's got this orangey red. If we move over to Marrow, he's got blue. Most likely he's sad, and both with Clover's death and his position in everything, his main drive is sadness, hers is anger. If we move over to Elm, she also has red and orange. So it has nothing to do with their semblance colors. Also, Harriet and Marrow's aura colors aren't those colors. Vine is green. I'm not sure what green would represent. And then when he gets a good look at Winter, I'll try and... there. We see that she's got the green, she's got blue, she's got the red and orange. Which now, Winter, she's the most level-headed out of all of them. Despite being the way she acts, she is very in touch with her emotions, and she knows when she cares about people. She's willing to admit she cares about people. Sure, she has some anger, she's got sadness, she's got... I don't know what green would be, but she probably has that emotion in control as well. So, though this could also be linking her to all of the Aesops, because I reckon Elm and Harriet, they're the closest, because they're very similar. And it makes sense that, let's say one is orange, one is red. It links them together because they both are pretty much the same emotional state. So it's linking them. Marrow on his own, Vine's on his own. And Winter, she's linked to all of them. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that well, but yeah. We see that I like how as soon as I saw the shadow on the door, I knew it was Klein. And the interaction between Weiss and Whitley, I am so happy for it, because it's just genuine affection from Weiss to Whitley, and you can see how shocked he is at getting genuine affection, and then very quickly hugs Weiss back. He does the classic, I didn't do it for you. Just genuine affection from... He's so shocked that she cares. She's actually pleased with what he did and that he did good. And then just this, look at that. Just look at that face. Tell me that's not someone who gets hugged very, like, doesn't get hugged a lot. We're watching it in 0.5 speed. Look at his shock. That he's finally feeling the warmth of a loving family member. And he just quickly and that goes in for the hug back. He's needed this for years. And Weiss is probably one of the people he expected it least from. And then, of course, we get the big shock that Penny crash landed in the Schnee driveway. And, well, it seems that the hack didn't work because, well, she's got her green eyes again. Unless that hack was just a shutdown. And she's sparking, obviously, because she's been damaged. Though, hopefully not damaged beyond repair. And she seems to be... She's leaking this... green... It's probably the fluids that's pumping through her body to keep her systems regulated in heat wise and all that, so probably a coolant in that. And though it does emulate she's bleeding from the impact in that. And I'm not sure what she has to be sorry for, whether she thinks she couldn't hold Amity up long enough and she failed them, whether it's the fact that she's been incapacitated once again by Salem's forces and she wasn't able to fight that more. I don't know, but this had everything I wanted and more. But I've been rambling for long enough. I am very soft about this episode. Or, well, the ending of this episode. I'm going to end this on a high note. Catch you in the next one.